Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Wednesday. This is episode 2 of the first season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode, and if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So the first episode's not what I expected. You know, from my recollection, you know, I've not hardcore watched the Addams Family throughout my whole childhood, but I have watched it on many of occasions, and I do not recall Wednesday having superpowers, so this is going to be interesting to see where we go this season. You know, straight away in episode 1 she bumped into somebody and she went up in the air and then dropped back down. She had visions, didn't she? And she seen who stuffed her brother into the locker, which obviously sent her on a bit of a rampage, throw some piranhas in the pool, getting back at obviously the bullies. This sent her away to Nevermore, and this is the school where her mum used to grow up, and this is where obviously she's been transferred to. And obviously in this school it is magical. Now I don't know about you, but it kind of gives me the same kind of feeling as Sabrina. I know it's different, but like it feels like it's typical Netflix in this sort of aspect, where like we had a supernatural kind of like school show, female lead character in a school obviously surrounded by magical people, and then we've ended that and we've moved into a new show. It's kind of like been similarly repackaged but with a new storyline, and we're getting it here. Like I said, I never recalled Wednesday having powers before, and now obviously coming into this season she's seeing obviously visions of the future, it looks like, whilst also being told that in the school they have werewolves, sirens and vampires, which is going to be exciting to see, because we didn't really see any of them hardcore displaying the powers last episode. We just seen her, Wednesday, you know, having a visions, and we did get told that somebody's going around killing humans in the woods. I think we've seen 4 deaths now. Now, very interesting is she's trying to escape, you know, typical Wednesday, breaking the rules, doing whatever she wants. She wants to get away from the school. Standard stuff. We like to see it. It's enjoyable. I kind of like the connection she had with a roommate as well. I'm interested to see how that one goes. And she kind of made a connection with a guy from the local town. She was going to try and use him as like getaway driver. Do you know what I mean? Take her to a train station so she can bounce. But in the midst of all this chaos, in the midst of the carnival, she ended up chasing one of the guys from her school because she obviously touched him, had a vision, went after him. She said, mate, I don't know how to explain it, but you're in danger. He turned around and said, look, mate, I'm not the one in danger. You are. Used the force, mate, like Ray, threw him up against a tree. You know, he pinned her there. He was like, look, my mum 25 years ago drew this drawing. It's a girl. It looks like you. She warned me that if I ever encounter this person, I need to do whatever it takes to take her out. She's bad. And that is what he tried to do before he ended up savagely being murdered by this beast that was in the woods. So at the end of the episode, you know, Wednesday was sitting down, she was talking to her parents, and he said, how do you like your new school? And she was like, reeling off all these crazy things that have happened in the first week since she's been there. And she turned around and said, you know what? I think I'm going to enjoy it. So that's very interesting. Can't wait to see obviously what today's episode has in store for us. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
The story's about to take a dark turn. Usually I love dark turns, but not this one.
You think we missed something?
I say we double back, sweep Collet Creek, and then call it a night.
I saw that monster kill Rowan right in front of me.
Did you get a good look at this monster thing?
It didn't stick around for a chat.
Maybe it was one of your classmates.
So you automatically assume that a Nevermore student is the murderer, even though there's no evidence that a crime was even committed. State troopers have put out an alert, and I've contacted his family, but they haven't heard from him either.
Dead people are notoriously bad at
In
returning
it,
calls.
she's seen him die.
And just to be clear, this monster wasn't a bear or some other wild animal?
I've hibernated with grizzlies. I know the difference. Actually, I would like to speak to Sheriff Galpin. Alone.
You have 5 minutes, and everything is off the record.
Oh, do you reckon she's got something to do with it? I feel like it's she's sketchy.
Someone is trying to cover up Rowan's murder.
Why is that?
Because you and I both know that there's a monster out there.
Now that is interesting. I didn't expect it.
Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see.
The only explanation is that dude is a phoenix. Yeah, he's like Fawkes from Harry Potter. Yeah, he's like Landon from Legacies. The guy could die and be reborn again, because I seen him get slashed up and definitely killed last episode. That monster savagely murdered him. So, you know, I'm interested to see obviously what they say and how they try to, you know, explain it off. And Wednesday was being cooperative then.
Help me understand why you would claim you witnessed a murder. Was it to gain attention?
You've already decided I'm lying.
Tell me how you're adjusting to school.
Satra said how was other people. He was my first crush.
Have you considered your antisocial tendencies might be motivated by fear of rejection?
If you were to reject me right now, I would not be upset.
You made it through an entire session without trying to escape. I'll take that as a win.
You know, when you ran off last night at the Harvest Festival, I wasn't sure what happened, and then I heard, you know, for the record, I believe you.
That's because he is the monster. Eat your friends close and your enemies closer.
Howdy, Rumi. I'm so glad you decided to stay. Why the change of heart?
I refuse to play the role of a pawn in someone else's corrupt game.
You mean Rowan?
I witnessed his murder, Enid. What is the poke up anyway?
My entire reason for living right now. Part canoe race, part foot chase. No rules. Storm has to pick an Edgar Allan Poe short story for inspiration. Want to take a stab at being social?
I do like stabbing. I've always hated the expression, write what you know. But when your life becomes a twisted mystery, maybe it's time to lean into it.
What were you doing out in the woods with him in the first place?
I heard a noise and I went to investigate.
You had a psychic vision, didn't you? Your mother started having visions around your age.
She's definitely in on
Have you
it.
spoken to her about them? Clearly the person withholding information here is you. We want our students to be well-rounded.
I'd prefer to remain sharp-edged.
She always uses it to get stabbing or something. See, I'm thinking me, mate, that she's in on it. I don't know, like, I'm a proper, like, what, like, suspicious person. That's it. I don't trust them until they do something that, like, gets me thinking, yo, that's deep, that, or, do you know what, loyal. Do you know when you watch stuff and you think, that guy's put his neck on the line to prove that he must be part of the crew, or he's telling the truth, or he's on your side, or he saves a life, do you know what I mean, or he risks himself. I know that you don't get that in this show, but until, like, they prove that they're not sketchy, because I just feel like he gives not bad vibes, but yeah, like, she's not telling the truth. That's what I get from her. Now, I know last episode, Wednesday, was saying that there's something iffy about this school, and she doesn't know what is hiding, but she's going to get to the bottom of it. It's interesting. I feel like she's got to be part of it. And, you know, as throwing the spanner in the works, yeah, I know the sheriff's looking for a killer, and I know that, obviously, we don't know who it is yet, but I'm saying it's a guy in a coffee shop. I know that we've only just started episode 2, but the reason I'm saying that is because last episode he was saying maybe if you'd get away Wednesday, at least one of us get out of this town. You know, we're not always locked up. And I just think it's one of them. Like I said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I feel like he could possibly be in on something as well.
Well, you said you'd be stopping by. But to be honest, after your performance at the Harvest Festival, the drama club might be more your speed. What are you? Alto, soprano, or just loco?
Is that a high-pitched noise that she can do?
What was that?
A note only dogs can hear.
She actually showed up.
He's going to be good at it because it's a weapon.
When's the last time you saw your roommate, Rowan?
Oh, you mean the one that was killed by a monster?
The Harvest Festival. His side of the room was all packed up this morning.
So what's the deal with you and Tyler? I'm sorry, were you the only one who got to ask non-archery questions here?
There is no deal. He was doing me a favor, driving me out of town.
Steer clear. Because Tyler and his friends are a bunch of jerks. They can't stand the fact that this school is the only thing propping up their podunk town.
Imagine doing that, though. If you actually do that, that's like next level stuff, that.
Not allowed to speak to anyone.
You had a lot to say the other night when you tried to kill me. Told me I was destined to destroy the school, remember?
Wednesday, you shouldn't be here.
Somebody else. Who do you reckon's taking that briefcase then? Surely it's been left for somebody. She didn't fool me, man. See what I mean? I'm going to give myself a clap. I'll retract it later if it's somebody else and they've just morphed into her, but she not fooled me since the first episode. I've always had a suspicion. He seems, I don't know, tries to play it off too nice, and those people you got to be wary of. But also, going to the archery thing, yo, that's really hard to do. I don't know if, well, you probably have seen the Avengers, because who hasn't? You know, Hawkeye, he gets his arrows from his back and he just pings them. And actually, it's impossible because you've got to put your hand round to the left side and then readjust the bow and pull it. Like, there's no way you can cross over the bow and pull it. So I don't know. This is a little interesting fact that the way Hawkeye shoots his arrows, it's 100% impossible.
How do you lose him in a bathroom with no windows? A lefty wouldn't have failed me, since you're the one who lost our only lead.
I see you finally made a friend, even if it is a plant.
I go for quality over quantity.
There's an open spot next to me. If you can stand sitting that close to an elitist snob.
That is sick.
I doubt Wednesday is impressed by your tricks, Mr. Thorpe.
I am.
A little impressed.
We're thrilled to have you join us. Who can tell us the name of this beauty?
Dendrophylax lindeni,
Otherwise known as the ghost orchid.
First discovered on the Isle of Wight in 1854.
Her eyes are pretty
Clearly
decent.
the plants aren't the only carnivores in class today.
Ran into your shrink. She was kind of tight-lipped about your progress.
Called doctor-patient confidentiality.
Pay the bills, I got a right to ask.
Remember her?
I have to get back to the woods, but Weems has been watching me like a vulture circling a carcass. At beekeeping club this afternoon. I need you as decoy.
Why don't you ask Thing? Oh wait, you can't because he's mad at you. Go apologize and I'll reconsider helping you.
I snapped at you. I'll check my tone in the future. I know I'm stubborn, single-minded, and obsessive, but those are all traits of great writers. Yes, and serial killers. I have nothing to get off of my chest, and I'm not submitting to your emotional blackmail. Fine. When Rowan showed me this, it confirmed my greatest fear, that I'm going to be responsible for something terrible, and I can't let that happen.
This is the most girls I've ever had in the shed. I've always had a thing for werewolf chicks.
The chance that Enid ever becomes romantically interested in you is less than 1%.
So I've still got a shot?
I just don't want to get stung.
The key is to remain calm.
See? That went alright. Lincoln there, saving Octavia.
Coffee grounds.
Deer hunting hack perks being a part-time barista.
Thought Rowan was in danger. Turns out I was wrong. Then he proceeded to use his telekinesis to try and choke me to death. It was a cover-up.
That book, it's the second time we've seen it, or the third. But it just shows that guy was trying to help her actually, the one that actually sat next to her with a spider before.
Purple book.
Told you.
It's a watermark from the book I'm looking for.
I think it's the symbol to an old student society. I was very impressed with your answers in class today.
My mother is a carnivorous plant aficionado. I assume I get my red thumb from her. I act as if I don't care if people dislike me. Deep down, I secretly enjoy it.
The ability to not let others define you. It's a gift.
She done well there, that teacher. I kind of was suspecting her, but then she come out of it quite strong. I've got to say, mate, her answer to that, you know, I thought that I didn't care what people thought about me. And then you're expecting her to say what I actually do. And she just come around with an absolute worldie of an answer, which I agree with. The fact is, I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the same. Like, the fact that I would have done something somewhere along the line to stress somebody out so much that they dislike me and they're spewing on it, or do you know what I mean, it stresses them out, I do the heading. It's great satisfaction, that. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, it's unless I was a proper arsehole, but if somebody just doesn't like me for who I am, I just find it hilarious that obviously, like, they feel that way. And like she's just said, I get some sort of satisfaction out of it. That's the best way, mate, you know. Instead of being down in the dumps that people don't like you, take joy in the fact that somebody's angry, that, you know, you're just living and just being yourself. So I love that. I thought it was a fantastic answer.
That purple book has got to be around here somewhere.
That's the one bit of clothing that she wears. Oh, that's not all black. Yo, he can kind of make that come to life. That is sick. Masquerade ball.
Rowan's full of surprises.
What do you want, Bianca?
To see how you're doing. I know you guys used to be close.
Since when did you give a damn about Rowan?
I make one mistake and you can't forgive me. She treats you like crap and you can't get enough.
Okay, why are you so fixated on Wednesday?
Because she thinks she's better than everyone else. You were good together.
Is that just how you wanted me to feel?
What's she done to him?
Trust me, Wednesday Addams is not the girl of your dreams.
Reckon that she tried to manipulate him some way with her powers before, that's why I don't trust her anymore.
Yoko was in the infirmary.
What happened?
Garlic bread incident at dinner. She had a major allergic reaction.
It wasn't an accident. Bianca's behind it.
How do you know?
Doesn't matter. You and I are going to take her down tomorrow. I want to humiliate Bianca so badly that the bitter taste of defeat burns in her throat.
There are no rules in the Poe Cup, and she is a siren, which makes her master of the water. You want to tell me what you two were up to all night?
And spoil the surprise?
Speaking of surprises, your costume's in the tent. OMG, you look perfect!
I want to welcome you all to the Edgar Allan Poe Cup. This is one of Nevermore's proudest annual traditions, dating back 125 years. First team to cross the finish line with their flag wins the cup and bragging rights for a year.
Let the houses begin. The house cut. Oh, she's got in external people to come cause the damage.
sure Bianca can't sabotage our boat.
Thing, I need you to distract a couple of jokers.
Oh, here we go.
You were the key.
Whoa, she looks different. Like, I know it's the same person, that's it. I know it was the same person, but she actually did look different.
What's going on?
I just asked myself, WWWD. What would Wednesday do?
It's clutched it. Got out of the net. It's something so simple, but so easy. Surely they've won now, the Black Cats. They're not going to make it there in time.
Admit it, you kind of got into the whole school spirit thing.
You didn't tell me it was a dark, vengeful spirit.
Why is that dude in the back? What did he do? Don't tell me that statue's holding the book.
What are you doing down here?
People keep randomly smiling at me out there. It's unsettling.
It's about having your moment.
Good to see you fitting in. Just like your mother.
My mother and I are two entirely different people / species / everything.
Maybe you two are more alike than you think.
You know, before we go into that, right, I'm thinking that the girl that's been drawn on that picture that we're thinking is Wednesday is actually her mum. That's what I'm thinking now. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean? You got to throw stones in ponds. You know what I mean? You got to cause a few waves, a few ripples. You got to be guessing. You know what I mean? And that is where I'm going. I'm going with the police officer's son is somehow involved, but I'm not too certain on that one. That's literally just like a wild card. And then obviously I'm going with the teacher being involved, which it looks like she's a bit sketchy, and the drawing that we're seeing is actually of Wednesday's mum and not Wednesday herself. But again, I could totally be way off, but that's what I'm going with right now. But also, I like how her roommate is consistently trying to get her to be involved in stuff. Like, I like Wednesday's stubbornness and like the way she is, but I don't know what I like more, the fact that she's consistently stubborn, or like somebody's consistently trying to be kind and helpful and pull her in that direction. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm enjoying it both, and I actually thought that race was pretty decent. And I can't remember now what they said when she's seen herself, but a different version. I think I was like, whoa, that's decent. She looks the same, but different. Like, it kind of looked like obviously it was Jenna Ortega, but she didn't look at the spitting image of herself, even though obviously she had different colour hair. And I got lost in what she said. You're the key, I think, maybe. I'm not too sure.
A place where the questions far outweigh the answers. But sometimes, the answer is staring you right in the face. Don't worry, Edgar Allan. I see your sanctimonious smirk. Your penchant for riddles was legendary. And this might be your cleverest yet. The opposite of moon. Sun. Its beginning and end never found. Circle. Every rule has one exception.
That is sick. Unlock the spiral staircase to Dumbledore's office.
Secret societies, hidden libraries, my mother staring at me in a judgmental way. These are all things I've come to expect.
That guy was in that room then when he took it out of that book. Oh, there we go. Look at that. The guy, yeah, who's just taken her there is the one that done the magic on the spider, the one that kind of fancies her. The one that obviously used to date the siren. I believe that's who's just kidnapped her then. Because in the flashback, when we seen Rowan, he was arguing with somebody. He was arguing with him, and he was there when, you know, just before that statue got pushed onto her. And he went out and he saved her as well. And, you know, when she awoke into the hospital, he was sat at the bedside. So I think that somehow he saved her. But it don't look like he saved her. It looks like she's been kidnapped. I thought it was a good episode, actually. I did enjoy this one. I feel like it felt like it went a lot faster than episode 1. I know episode 1 usually it's kind of like introduction. Do you know what I mean? It's not the fastest paced. It's okay, here we are, here's a new show, we're the characters. Here's Enid, you know, I'm Wednesday. This is the school teacher. I need to go to therapy. There's that guy who works in a coffee shop, you know, trying to establish a couple of storylines. There's a killer on the loose. Rowan's coming after her. Here, started off really well, actually. I definitely thought he was dead. Seen him get sliced up. Definitely seen him die. And obviously the spanner in the works got thrown when he turned back up in school. It looked like she was lying in front of the sheriff and obviously the head teacher. Now, somehow, she's involved. I don't know why she's covering it up. I know that Wednesday said that she felt like the school was sketchy, but I didn't actually ever get good vibes off the headmistress anyway. So I've always kind of been sus of her, and it turns out that that's true. Now, things followed Rowan into the, what was it, a train station toilet. He's come out as a different guy, and then further along the line turned into her again. Now, the briefcase was actually left on the toilet, or whatever it was, the suitcase. So is somebody else going in and picking it up? What's happening to that? What was in it? Again, that's another interesting one. Maybe it was just a decoy to make it look like he was traveling somewhere. And I really enjoyed the little bit of competitiveness as we got there. A little bit of action, do you know what I mean, between the houses, so to speak, going to get that little trophy. And I like the connection being formed between her and Enid. I do think they rub off well on each other, to be honest. You've got one really happy, joyous person, one kind of like down and dark. And I feel like sometimes opposites do attract, and they do rub well together. And I think like them two are going to be good going for you know, towards the end of the season. So I would say episode 2 was pretty good. Okay, and that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And as always, if you would like to watch the full episodes of any of the videos that are on the channel, they are always available for free in the link in the description. Just click on it and put the password in and enjoy. So I thought this was a good episode coming into, you know, episode 2. I thought we established, obviously, the storyline in episode 1, and we tried to progress it and go into it a bit more. We've seen her be involved in different scenarios. You know, she's been in the woods. We've seen that Rowan is not dead, but he is dead. We've seen her speaking to the therapist again, speaking to the sheriff's son. The sheriff's still looking into the murders. You know, we've had team building with her roommate. You know, a bit of banter between things. And then obviously a rivalry going as well with the siren. So kind of gone round everybody, kind of kept them all kind of in the loop and not introduced them in the first episode and then forgot them in episode 2. You have to do that with new seasons, you know what I mean? You have to keep each character relevant. You can't just drop like the siren in, you know, fighting Wednesday in episode 1 and cutting her and then not having her being involved in the next 3 episodes and then coming in later on in the season, because you've already kind of like established a connection with people and then join the storylines, and you kind of feel like they're just being fillers. So I do like how we kind of, you know, dropping them in and using it. It seems like she's going to be a good kind of competitive person to rub against Wednesday and bring out a different side of her, whether it's going to be with a team, you know, and building, like she just said there with Enid, that you enjoyed it a little bit, didn't you? And she was like, well, nobody told me it was going to be like a kind of like dark enjoyment, so to speak, because it was like fighting to win, and that's kind of like Wednesday's street, isn't it? So she did enjoy it, but then again, Wednesday's very, very smart. We've seen it here. She was in the class, she was obviously against that same girl again when the teacher was asking questions about plants, and she's knowing it and she's reeling it off like bang, 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 you know what I mean? Both of them are pinging off each other, trying to be the best kind of like class person in the class, teacher's pet, whatever you want to call it. And then again, we've seen it here at the end. She's gone, she sat down, she's looked at that statue, she's seen that book, she's kind of got a mind guessing, she's gone back, torch on it, reading the riddles. Like, the riddles are really interesting. I would never have got any of them, to be honest. Maybe the first one, which was the opposite of the moon, and she said sun. But then again, she's got them all, they've all lined up, and then she's realised that it's gone down in the line that spells words. You know what, right? Fun fact, the first time I ever seen something like that actually be done is where you write loads of sentences, but you use the first word to spell something else on down, obviously, the left-hand side. Was in The Simpsons. I believe Homer might have been arrested, or somebody was, and he was writing in the paper, and he was circling it up and down, and Simpsons are mad in like predicting things, you know what I mean? Like literally mad at predicting things. But in terms of that was the first time I ever seen it. And then I've you know, seen it used in different things, and poems sometimes use it as well. They spell a word down the side and then they reel off certain things from it. I'm not too sure what that's called, but again, like I said, she was smart to decipher the words that was on the page, and then to crack a code to snap to go down into that basement to obviously find that book to be kidnapped herself. So very, very interesting. Can't wait to find who it was in the next episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.